Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. KJRadio.com. 844-551. Excuse me. 844-551-8255. Glad you guys are hanging in there. So I want to talk a little bit about Donald Trump, his performance, and I want to begin by saying this. I can't stand these so-called conservatives. And I'll use an example with Judge Moore. So Judge Moore is under fire because of 40-year-old allegations that he's, tried to date some young girl. Now, it's come up because he's gained momentum and the left doesn't like it. So I think establishment Republicans, the same way they took down Herman Cain, are trying to take down Judge Moore. And it's amazing how fast the list of what I call leftist Republicans jumped on the I can't support Roy Moore campaign before the dust even settled. I'm amazed at how fast that occurred. It's disturbing. And what it does is it outs people immediately. Not to mention the Washington Post, who says, well, we had allegations. Really? So I did allegations. I said, well, Jeff Bezos years ago molested 40 women, and they will be coming forth at a later time. One of them, by the way, was a Guatemalan midget. Refute that, Jeff Bezos. How long? What is the statute of limitations on people's lives? Now, I'm not saying that if he did it, it wouldn't have been wrong necessarily, but I'm saying, what's the statute of limitations? And when is the statute of limitations for you to bring it up? See, this is another hit list thing that just really pisses me off, to be honest with you. And immediately, so-called conservatives, it's suspect. With everything that we've learned about the fake media, fake news, created news, what they will do to manipulate elections and then point the finger over somewhere else, and you want to fall for this? Look, if you're listening to this program, you probably didn't. But you know people who did. I don't know if I can do that or do that. Let me tell you, I heard Kellyanne say something similar to that, Kellyanne Conway. I get it. People want to say, have those types of reactions. But here's what I say to them. First thing that should come out of your mouth is, these allegations are likely fake news. They're likely false. So I'm not buying into it. You can buy into it, but I'm not going to. I know how the media operates. I know how the left operates, and so does the rest of America. You have a guy who's he's a religious guy. And some would even call him sanctimonious. Why do you think they want to destroy him? Because he represents everything that they hate. He represents a guy who's lived his life on the up and up, played by the rules, and they're, look at him breaking the rules. The left breaks the rules every day. And you know what? Here's the second part of my equation. If he did date a younger girl at whatever age, Jerry Seinfeld did it. Nobody said a word. He, when he was 38 years old, dated a 17-year-old girl. Nobody blinked an eye. She was hot. She was beautiful, beautiful Jewish girl. Nobody blinked an eye. Don't ask me why, because he's Seinfeld? She's my companion. Okay, great. So, in other words, look, I'm not going to get into whether Jerry Seinfeld was involved with her or it was just, when she turns 18, she's legal. I like her. I wanted her to know, blah, blah, blah. It's not the strangest thing to see somebody that age date somebody that age. He's more than double her age. But when she becomes 18, she's legal. Now, the fact of the matter is, that's a big age gap. I think it's strange that Seinfeld wouldn't find someone in her he's 38. Find somebody 28 to 32, somewhere along that line. There's some beautiful girls out there. He's Seinfeld. But what bugs me is that nobody said a word about that. He wasn't running for president. He wasn't running for office. He wasn't running for senator. But that doesn't matter. The reaction should be the same. And what's really interesting to me is that we are so quick to throw people under the, if he did that, he's supposed to be a religious guy. No, he's a guy. And you don't know that he did it. But even if he did, It doesn't make him wrong. It may have been the same circumstances that you'd be willing to overlook it. You've overlooked more in your lives. You know you have. I mean, we don't know. There are very mature, I've met 17, 18-year-old girls who are very mature, where you would say, why would a 38-year-old guy want to? Because she's not in a 17-year-old soul. You know what I'm saying? You've met these people. You've met young people that you go, that kid. I know a little boy who always wears a hat my grandfather used to wear. You never forget this little kid. And he liked big band music. And he talked with a bit of a swagger. And he knew all the old films of Bing Crosby and Bob Hope and others. I'm talking about to the point where you were like, how do you know that? How do you know that reference? How do you know this ship from the? It was like he was born in another time, because this kid had all of the intellect and all of the swagger, all of the feel of a 50-year-old dude that was part of the Rat Pack. And he acted like him. And I thought to myself, what a cool cat, man. Because he was. So you know that kid's not, he's an anachronism. He doesn't feel comfortable in this day and time. He feels comfortable wearing that hat and those old-timey suits and clothes. And that's what he wore. That's what made me, look and go, hey, let me ask you something, kid. I was probably in my 30s when I met this kid, 10, 11 years old. And he knew it. It was who he was. So look, I've seen women like that. Most girls 17 or 18 years old, let me tell you something. The average dude that's in his late 20s wants nothing to do with them. They have a whole other thing. But you meet people in your life. You might be 50 and meet somebody in their 30s who doesn't act like a 30-year-old. You get what I'm saying? I'm not excusing any of this, by the way. I'm not trying to make excuses. But here's the thing. I don't believe Roy Moore did what they said he did. I don't believe it for a second. I believe that there are people that are going after him and they're trying to destroy a man. For what? So that they can get somebody in who will likely destroy the country. They want a Democrat in there. So we've seen the playbook of what the Democrats are going to do. We know what they're going to do. We've watched it play out with Donald Trump. And Trump won because, number one, he doesn't give a crap. And number two, you backed him. And if Roy Moore wins, and I hope he does, if Roy Moore wins, he will be showing the establishment that your dirty tricks no longer work. He will be showing the media that your dirty tricks no longer work. And more importantly, he will set the stage for good people to run in the election cycle, to admit what they've done wrong and say, I don't care if you know it or not. That's what this country needs. We are done. We should be done with these sanctimonious leftists who commit all these heinous crimes right in front of your face. They do what they tell you right in front of their faces. Who was the latest guy? Who was it? He literally, Louis C.K. Louis C.K. says to women, "You men are bad for you," and he does his routine. Meanwhile, he gets off stage, and what's he do? He does exactly what he just told you. You got to men terrible people. He's saying what he is, and he's doing it because it gives him a gauntlet of protection. So I want to go back to these so-called conservatives. We've allowed these never-Trumpers, these so-called conservatives, to be comfortable. And for me, they're like the climate change boneheads. See, the fact is there's no such thing as man-made climate change of any significance. If you get outside of your stupid cities, you'll see that. The majority of the world is not having any problem with air quality. It's just weather. And despite proof, folks, that Donald Trump is a rock star, the anti-Trump, the never-Trumpsters remain in denial. They see it. They've watched this economy bloom. They've watched all the things that have happened in America and abroad because of Donald Trump happen, beginning with Carrier, that Barack Obama said the man needed a magic wand, and on through to getting NATO back in line and paying their bills. The impact of Trump is being felt in Japan. Their GDP for the first time in 7 years was positive. You think that was because of Obama? No, it's because of Donald Trump. So you got all this Trump effect. You've got low unemployment. We even have people coming up, that's not Donald Trump. Barbara Streisand tweeting, that's not Trump, that's remnants of Obama. Yeah, really, said, who believes that? Given everything that Donald Trump has talked about with companies, let me tell you, that Foxconn building a big facility in the Northwest, I think in the Wisconsin area, we got all these different companies coming in and saying, the only reason why I'm here is because of Trump, and you got never Trumpers. More on them when I come back.
Kevin Jackson
on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177, or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.